With the invention of the smartphone and the explosion of the social media industry, social media has become an integral part of our lives, but more specifically, our experiences in college. According to findings from the Pew Research Center, social media usage has increased nationally by almost 1,000% over the past 8 years for people between the ages of 18 and 29, and nearly 98% of college students use social media. While a lot is known about the impact of social media on women in college, we were interested to know more about the male experience with social media. In particular, we wanted to know how social media influences anxiety and depression in college aged men. Studies have been performed at universities across the nation, and almost all have found a link between anxiety, depression, and social media use. The excessive reliance on social media to stay in constant connection with friends, family, and classmates can lead to a phenomenon called FOMO, or the fear of missing out. This adds to anxiety as students feel the need to constantly use social media to ensure that they are not missing an important social event.
Yeah, sometimes it was hard. Like maybe when you were at work, and then I don't know where, like on a break, or actually when you were working, you would check your phone and you would see that your friends are at the beach or something.
It used to give me like some level of anxiety is a word for it. That like I'm missing out on whatever experience I'm not getting that I'm seeing other people doing.
Dislike social media greatly. Um, I'm not a big fan, and yeah, it does. It gives people FOMO and anxiety because you see all these fun things and you might not be doing it, and you feel left out. So it gives me anxiety. I know it gives a lot of people anxiety, and so I don't like it for that matter.
Social media use also contributes to students feeling like they are in constant competition with their peers, comparing body image, lifestyle choices, and material possessions, often resulting in a false notion that they aren't as good or as cool as someone else.
Creatively, I always kind of judge people with their photos. I'm always like, that's a bad angle. Why would you post that? Or that needed to be edited.
Exposure to Instagram pages that can make us feel insecure or insignificant or having the fear of missing out, all these kinds of negative feelings.
Follow, and so masculinity is more moldable um, by the people who have like the most followers, and then the people like, let's say like myself, if I'm looking at like an idol on their social media or something like that, I then think that that's what it means to be or act in a masculine way. um,
That's the thing is like we see how like social media is affecting like ability to date or ability or like how it might affect our current relationship or our probability of getting into a relationship just because you're being validated or just because people are looking at you and sort of seeing this image of you as opposed to actually trying to get to know you or understand who you are as a person.
All of these factors come together to increase isolation and loneliness in college students and can lead to anxiety and depression. These are some ways that you can reduce the negative effects of social media on your life.
Put them if like if I don't want to go on and see those platforms, I put them in a folder and put them towards like the end of my folders on my phone to make sure I don't like instinctively go there and I go to going on something like Reddit or something else that doesn't. I get that dose of like social media feel, but I don't see my other friends doing it to just remove myself from the idea that I'd be missing out on anything.
My friends got used to it. When I got off social media, everybody was saying, "Oh, I should do the same thing." I think many people, when they hear that someone gives it up, in a way, they want the same. You start missing out things at first because you're not used to it and people are not used to it. But then when they know that you're not in social media anymore, they start to contact you in other ways. So they don't expect you to be in social media anymore. You don't expect to find out through social media. So you just learn to navigate through life without it. And then you forget what it was like when you had it.
My life improved dramatically when I cut it out of my life. And so I only use it a little bit to check up on friends, but really not at all.
These are a few other ways that you can get involved in preventing anxiety and depression caused by social media.